Special Forces soldiers claim the federal government was planning to strip their medals long before the Afghanistan war crimes report was released. Many are questioning why the Queen signed off on changes to the Defence Force honours system in July, 4 months before the Brereton report was released. Joining me now is Afghanistan veteran and lawyer Glenn Kolomeitz. Glenn, are you suspicious of the timing?
Danica, the government's had since 1991 to change these regulations. The regulations were very narrow before. Now they're very broad. They afford the government great power to strip these sorts of citations. The question begs asking, why 3 months out from the release of the report? What was the trigger for these changes 3 months out from the release of the report?
And you've been going through the documents very closely. Do you believe that there is evidence that the government knew what was about to happen?
Look, just reading again, reading the terms of the amended regulations, they're very reflective of some of the terminology that's come out in the report. Terminology such as disgraceful behaviour, disgraceful offences. The term disgraceful, that's never been used before. Previously it referred to, we've referred to serious offences, but that sort of terminology, and the fact that now the Minister and the Chief of Defence Force are empowered to recommend to the Governor General 3 options in how they deal with this, one of which is taking the citation away collectively, and the other 2 are individual stripping of the citation. That really does leave some questions to be answered as to how much was known at the time they made the decision to change these regulations.
Is there any way that the government now can step in to intervene and save these citations? We're talking thousands could be stripped of their medals. How can this go on?
Absolutely they can, Danica, and in fact the new regulations empower them to do that. Previously, the Governor-General alone made the decision to take the citation away from an individual. Now, under the new regs, the Minister or the Chief of Defence Force can recommend to the Governor-General that he or she does one of 3 things. Collectively cancel the citation, individually cancel the citation, or on conviction for a serious offence, have a member forfeit the citation. So the Minister and the CDF are empowered to, or indeed the Minister is empowered to step in now and say, I don't agree with the CDF, let's take one of the other options.
You've just held quite a fiery media conference with Jackie Lambie and former SAS Commander Heston Russell. As we just saw a few minutes ago, there was a lot of questions about the terminology being used. Now, they say that the citation threat is bullying. Do you agree?
Look, it's certainly something that came out very, very early and very quickly. CDF, Chief Defence Force, launched into this particular action very quickly. And I think as a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, to be honest. I don't think he thought it through. Now, that has been taken by many in the veteran community, including people who hold the citation, to be bullying, to be, to some extent, intimidatory. It's certainly inappropriate. It's an inappropriate response so quickly and so forcefully.
There was some questions over the terminology, heat of battle, and it's something that Heston was quite pushed on. What do you believe that means? From a legal perspective, what is in the heat of battle?
Look, Heston quite rightly touched on a thing called the JPEL, the Joint Priority Effects List, which is essentially a targeting list which has certain individuals on that list who have killed coalition or Australian forces, or who have done other activities which have put them on this list. Now, that issue needs to be tested in a criminal investigation. That needs to be tested against this JPEL targeting regime. Needs to be tested against the ROE, the Rules of Engagement, and the broader laws of armed conflict in the context of the conflict in Afghanistan. So the heat of battle is it's a throwaway term, and it needs to be it should be left as a throwaway term. I think we need to be looking at the context in which these alleged incidents took place, up as against the ROE, the laws of armed conflict, and that JPEL, the manner in which our soldiers were allowed to exercise the JPEL targeting system.
Are you worried about the mental health now of those who have been caught up in this?
Very much so, and I think this is the key point to come out of today's press conference. Right now, a number of these guys are facing administrative action. They've been given certain notices, termination notices. What I'm saying is that they should be speaking to lawyers, perhaps outside the Defence Reserve chain of command, to talk about their options. Undoubtedly, these men have mental and or physical injuries that perhaps should qualify them, should justify them having a medical separation from defence, a medical discharge from defence. And they should be allowed to exercise that medical separation now prior to any administrative action taking place. That would preserve their position outside and would be better for their mental health is my view. So legal advice for their mental health.
Do you believe then that there could be any potential legal challenges that could erupt from this? Are there any legal basis?
Absolutely, and I won't show too many cards right now, of course, but there undoubtedly will be legal challenges to the administrative process employed so far surrounding these termination notices, these show cause notices, and the way in which some of these decisions have been made, and issues such as the implementing officer and who recommended these actions be taken. There's a number of challenges coming down the track, and I expect to see those surface. But again, this goes back to the rights of these members to appropriate legal representation, and there are some issues with that right now which need to be ventilated.
Okay, one to watch. Glenn Kolomeitz, appreciate your time.
Thanks, Danica.